So, what I also gave you today, you've got 2 copies of these. There is a questionnaire sheet, okay? You've got 2 copies, so there's 1 copy you can keep that you can photocopy, okay? The other one, and this is a constitutional Ayurveda questionnaire. Now, you can get much more complex ones online that talk about stuff that's going on with you at the moment, thoughts and feelings and that. But what we're interested in particularly when we're looking at people's core energetic makeup, is literally that, their core energetic makeup. So this one is a core Ayurvedic questionnaire. Now, one of the things I found when I was doing my nutritional diploma with Stuart was that if you go to work on somebody and you know nothing about their energy, and you're there giving them healthy eating advice or nutrition advice, or you're looking at supplements or whatever, and you don't know anything about their core, how they're put together, you could make situations worse. You really need to know something about them at a central energy level. That will give you insight that they possibly can't describe to you in words. And so obviously, if you're a kinesiologist and working in a kinesiology way, you'll have got access to that person's body information because you're muscle testing. So you're in their energy field. If you're dowsing, you're almost in their energy field as well. So there's an understanding from the body in front of you that you are sharing energy if you're dowsing what's appropriate for somebody. But if you're doing it just verbally, and for some reason you can't use the skills, or the person doesn't want you to, and that does happen sometimes, or it's inappropriate, you really need to still find another way in to get into their energy. And the easiest way is to actually get them to do a very basic Ayurveda assessment. Now, the Ayurveda assessments, like I said, can be terribly complex, but they can be terribly basic. And it divides into 3 energy types, and they're called doshas, D-O-S-H-A. And basically you have the vata, or Sai would say it properly, which I can't remember how he's very good on his pronunciation. His Sanskrit pronunciation. And which is very much the dry, fast energy. Okay? You have got pitta, as in pita bread. Okay? And this is very much the more fiery, little bit more stable energy. And then you've got kapha, which is the earthy, fairly slow, sort of secure energy as well. And of course, obviously, you've got the opposite things going on, because of course, as soon as you've got slowness, you've got sluggishness. If you've got speed, you've also got too fast. And if you've got fiery stuff, you've got okay fire, and you've got over the top fire. Yeah. So these questions, like I said, are very, very core stuff. So what I'd like you to do on your questionnaire is to go through them and to just tick which ones best fit you. Okay? And on the bottom of the second sheet, you can top them up.
Did that last night?
Well, that particular one.
Well, it's very similar to this one.
Yeah, we'll still do it again, because then we've all done the same one. Yes, because funnily enough, I did one, the much longer one, that took into how I was now, and it actually changed my core. Mm-hmm. So in other words, things have changed for me over the last few years, but that's mostly because I've changed. But my core.
Did you say, because I feel like I'm sitting in between 2 already.
Yeah. So, well, that's okay. It's the one that's most, and it's like if you're in between 2, you can put a half if you like.
Okay.
Something like that.
And I'm quite across all 3 similar, but he felt I was kapha.
Yeah.
And my friend thought I was pitta.
Uh-huh.
And this question is completely different.
Yeah, because the thing is, it does vary a lot as you you have a core that you are when you're younger, and then as you get older, it changes. The mind certainly changes as I've got older. But where I was when I was much younger was very clear, and where I am now is not so clear.
It's interesting, clearer now. I was very thin, dry skin, where that's changed now.
Yeah, that's what I mean, it does change as you go. As you go. But sometimes there is something that sticks out that you know that it's evident that you're it's a place you don't go, even if you're not sure where you are going.
Oh my God. 21 and 20 really split between the two.
Yeah.
She's 7, 21, 13. Which I thought I'd be more Kapha, but then there was some I thought,
Yeah, well this is it. This is a very much a traditional one, so and I think that some of the more modern ones are a little bit slightly more varied, but I thought it would be nice to... I think just go online and just type in Ayurveda assessment, and you can find lots of different ones.
I think I've got some books that have got...
Yeah, but it's quite nice to find one that you can then give out to people.
Yeah.
You know, because it's quite a nice way. And also getting them to think about how they look at themselves as well.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's like with a lot of things, it's how you see yourself sometimes. It's not actually how you appear.
No.
And it's very easy to manipulate how you appear
Yes.
to suit certain things.
We were taught that it's always better to ask the questions than to get someone to fill out a questionnaire for themselves, because it's harder to
Verbalise
mask
your whatever.
Yes.
you know, harder to change your kind of,
Yeah.
to think too much about it
Yeah.
if you're being asked.
Yes, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
And
It's the first answer that's...
it's all about the asking, really.
Yeah, and I think that gives you an option because you can fill it out for somebody. You know, which is not a problem. So does yours end up the same as that you thought you, or does it vary a little bit?
Yeah. It's it's mostly Vata, then Kapha a close second, and very little Pitta.
Yeah. So the thing that would stick out from that probably is that the Pitta's low.
Yes.
You know, rather than the other two are playing.
Yeah.
It's like which one is. Yeah.
Yeah.
You with me? It's not necessarily. It's which one is there low. It can tell you a lot.
Did you want to have a nice healthy split between three? Is that sort of...
Not necessarily, because you're who you are. You know, and you're not maybe meant to be across the board.
Well, no, and it's very, very uncommon to be a split between three. You're more likely to
be two. Yeah,
Mm.
and then if you're two, the question then becomes is what's the one that you're not?
Yeah, the reliable slow one is the one I need some help
Yeah.
on.
What about your brother? What's yours?
5 for Vata, 23 for Pitta, and 12 for Kapha.
Yeah. So your Vata is the one that's really low.
Right.
Yeah, and and yours is the same. Your Vata.
Yes, I'm 7, 21, 13.
Yeah. You're about even Stevens on the pair of them.
On two, I've only got one Kapha, and I was even questioning whether I should even put that one.
Well, it's interesting because I'm 13 Vata, 22 Pitta, and only 4 Kapha. Yeah. And I think as I've got older, the Vata's dropped away a little bit. The Pitta's certainly the last sort of 5 years. But then I've probably, in some ways, looked after myself more. So it's interesting.
I think that's the thing as well, that one of the main things that we learn is that if someone's coming to you and they've already got problems, what they answer in a survey might tell you more about their imbalance.
Yes, this is what I'm after.
Yeah.
It's the thing that's not there.
Yeah.
And it's like the same. It's the same with whether you use colour assessment or anything else. It's not the things that they're showing you that's the issue.
Yeah.
It's the thing that's missing that's the issue, because that will tell you what is not inputting.
That's what you need to bring in in order to find a sort of a balance.
Well, it's
in
also
their life a bit.
but it's also as well as it's telling you how the person's system works. So it's like it's one for being. I mean, it's Vata is mostly. It's like it's air and air is Vata, whereas Pitta is like fire. With because water's not part of the. So Pitta's very fiery and Kapha's very earthy. But Kapha also has the watery element, and Pitta sort of has a watery sort of flowy thing about it as well. So the water element sort of sits between those two. And so it's like, and so for different situations it would suggest it probably rocks between the two, because that's what water does anyway, it just goes between the two. So you might find that changes a little bit.
So you might do this survey now, and then in 6 months' time, after you've done a bit of work, you will kind of almost hopefully hope that things have changed slightly.
Well, this is quite a core one, but certainly if you've got a fuller one where you're looking at how the person's thinking, the state of their emotions, yes. Yeah, so this is the brief one. I think I did one that had something like 50, 60 questions on, and that was much more involved with how you're feeling, your emotions, type of thinking, so that is going to change. I mean, you know, it's like, unless you've got something, for example, really wrong with your hair, for example, that's not going to particularly change because that's how it is. You know,
I see.
Are you with me? That sort of thing. I mean, having said that, the skin type may change. The quality change. Yeah, the quality of the skin may change.
Mine's improved since I moved down here.
Yeah,
we haven't got hard water.
Yeah, but you're with me. It's that sort of thing. That sort of thing is going to change depending on how things are going. Right. Now, because one of the things that I think I did ask you all is was looking at birth charts. Now, the elements are shown on the birth chart. So if you look down the bottom, there is a box about just to the right of the middle down the bottom that has got fire, earth, air and water in.
Guess what mine matches?
Is it Italian?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Wow.
You see, I'm low. It's interesting. You see, because I'm quite low fire. I'm very low. I'm very low earth and quite high water, quite high air.
Yeah, I'm
they're very similar, and it bears out. And it's like Simon. He's not here. I can tell you, he's 7 fire, 1 earth, 1 air, 1 water, and he is so Pitta. You know, it's like, God, you know, it's like serious, and it shows up.
It's funnily enough in here, fire, earth and air are all equal across here, and water is the one I'm lacking.
Yeah,
same here.
So it's interesting when you've got that fairly, it's like, it shows you there's going to be movement.
And I often find, I find it very hard to answer these questions, and I did when I was in India as well, you know, and I seem to sort of bridge things,
and I think the bridging is when the water element comes in, is because it's like you don't particularly necessarily what in one place or the other. And of course also I think it's but it's quite interesting that, you know, you can see from this, especially if someone's extreme, like Sai, for example, who's a 7111. You know, there's just no question of, you know, and that will tell you how his digestive system works.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fire, 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 fire. Fire.
And a bit more fire.
And a bit more fire. You know, and he's likely to eat fiery foods.
Yeah, that's
which just makes it even more fiery.
That's one of the main things that we were taught, is that either your imbalance or your predominant dosha will draw you towards the things that are going to make you even more imbalanced, which is it's quite tricky.
And it's really, really interesting, because on the taste preference, mine's definitely sweet. I mean, give me sweet stuff anytime. But it was really interesting that when I was ill, when I had the Epstein Barr, I needed the bitter, pungent, astringent, which was the kapha, which, I mean, my kapha was really low, but that was the thing that actually swung the system back in balance, was going to the low area and pulling on basically the earth quality. Taste was a way of getting it back. You know, so, and like you say, so even just after people's taste, and of course this cuts into 5 element stuff, so into meridians and things like that, is the qualities of taste and what you prefer. And that is, I think it is sort of hotwired into the system. And you certainly see it a lot with children, I think. You know, it's like... and I also noticed as well with the water thing, because I'm very vata on that, it's variable. or even kapha. You know, it's like. And then when I watch Sai drink water, I said, because this is what's so nice, is actually observing a pitta. You know, it's like it is just so down the line. You know, but of course, like you say, the trouble with that is it means that it's very easy. I suppose the more singularly you are one dosha, the more easy it is to get out of balance. Whereas at least if you're spread, it's actually a little bit easier to actually hold it. But so it can be worth looking at somebody's astrology chart just to see how balanced or not the elements are. If they're fairly balanced, then you're probably going to find that you can be very, very fairly general about things. But if they're not, then you know that you've got to make sure that you're not making things worse.